Terrell Thomas, These Urban Times, sitting down this evening with a gentleman who I can honestly say it's been a pleasure to watch the growth in his career. We've talked to him on various platforms when we were doing things hip hop since 1987. We've seen him perform. We've posted numerous videos of his, numerous records, and the growth continues to happen. 2021 is set out to be a big year for you. 2020 was a good year, despite a lot of the BS that took place throughout the world, that went down globally. And you got some things in the work that we're going to address. For our audience who does not know you, we'll tap in and let them know how they can check out your music, how you got started in music. Alabama's own ATL representative, Mr. Miles, how you feeling today, sir?
Good, brother. I'm good. How about you?
I'm good, man. I'm good. And I got to start the interview off by giving you your props and your respect and saying roll tide, because you gentlemen did it again. So I'm going to give you props and your respect. A really big Alabama fan. I love to see you, during the college football season, talking your trash. And when your team holds up to, they end of the stick, you got to respect it and acknowledge that. So big ups to that. But as I just mentioned, you are originally from Alabama, but you've been here in Atlanta for some time. Your music career is beginning to take off here in Atlanta. You've been planting seeds here for some time. Talk to us about Alabama and what made you decide to come to the A.
I mean, the thing that made me decide to come to the A was more opportunity. I mean, because the area that I come from, man, is really, really rural. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't any opportunity as far as the area that I come from when it comes to music. So I felt like if I wanted to take a chance, or I wanted to take a chance, but I felt like if I had the means to do it, it had to be Atlanta. And by that being the closest place and seeing the things that go on here, I felt like that was my next spot.
Okay. You also recently dropped a record with Boosie, with Lil Boosie, hip hop legend. Talk to me about that record and how that all came about.
Man, I took a chance, you know what I'm saying? I took a chance, and thank God he was willing to work with me, you know what I'm saying? So I reached out to his team and told him that I wanted to do a record with him. And one of his managers, I communicated with one of his managers, and we got on the same page about everything. And he said, yeah, let's get the rolling, and we made it happen, man. I'm so glad he did it, because that was something I always pictured myself doing, you know what I'm saying? So by him being the person that he is, you know what I'm saying, watching him growing up and stuff like that, it meant a whole lot to me.
What was it like? How did you feel when you first got the record back, when you heard it, when it was complete? And
I went crazy, man. I went crazy. I mean, for somebody like that, you know what I'm saying, just to get a record back from him, knowing that it was for me specifically, you know what I'm saying, it meant a lot. So I played it. I must have listened to it 100 times as soon as I got it back, man. I loved it.
I respect that. Big shout out to Boosie, rap legend for damn sure. Shout out to Boosie as well. He went and got his vote on for the first time in his life recently. So, the legend is still teaching us stuff. He's still teaching us the growth and things of that nature. 2020 was a very wicked year across our globe, a very wicked year in the music industry, but somehow, some way, you didn't allow that to stop you. You continued to put out music. You continued to promote music as well. What was it? What were some of the challenges in which you faced in 2020 while you were still creating and putting out music?
I mean, for a lot of people, you couldn't really get out and touch people, but I tried to make sure that I had some type of presence as far as online too. I mean, that made a big impact on just constantly trying to make sure I had something out there for people to see and hear, because everything shut down, and by that shutting down, it impacted the culture a lot, you know what I'm saying, in the industry. Nobody could do anything, and it still is, obviously, but, I had to figure out a way to try to stay relevant that way, you know what I'm saying? Since you couldn't get out and touch them, I had to try to build some type of presence online.
I dig it. You also have a producer in which you work pretty closely with. A gentleman has produced some of your tracks. Let our audience know who that gentleman is and how your relationship came about.
Yeah, matter of fact, his name is JayWhit Beats. He's done some production for Kevin Gates and OG Booby Black, and a few other guys. You know what I mean? So I was online looking, and I heard one of the tracks that he produced for Kevin Gates and AR Ab. You know, shout out to the guy from your city. You know what I'm saying? So I was on there listening, and I heard that particular track, and I kept listening to it, and I finally wanted to reach out to him and see if he'd be willing to work with me, and he did. And I think by now he's produced maybe about five or six tracks of mine. So we gel pretty well. You know what I'm saying? He's a real cool guy. You know, he's always willing to work with people if they want to reach out to him too.
Explain to artists who are looking to come up and get in the game just how important and clutch that is, that artist producer relationship. Of course, there are numerous producers in which you work with. As you'll continue to grow, that portfolio will only expand as well. There'll be plenty of more producers that you work with. But with a lot of successful artists, there is normally one particular producer in which their sounds kind of form a marriage and they help each other find success. Talk to me about when you find that particular sound and that particular producer, how crucial and critical that is for the growth and the success of your career.
For me, not only did he make good beats, but just in speaking to him, we gel kind of well when we were just having a conversation. So just a matter of us being able to communicate, it made everything else fall into place. You know what I'm saying? And he does what he does and I do what I do. So we're not in each other's space. We're not trying to change anything. It kind of falls into place by him doing what he does as best as he can. And I try to do the same thing on my end. And I mean, we work well just by staying out of each other's way, basically. You know what I'm saying? So I reach out to him when I'm ready and he give me what he got and we go from there. You know what I'm saying? It speaks a lot to be able to communicate with somebody outside of the job that you all are doing. You know what I'm saying? I know that may not be the case for everybody, but if you can speak to a person about anything else outside of that, everything else should fall into place.
Well said, man. Very well said. I also want to get a little insight and behind the scenes knowledge, of a record that you put out towards the end of 2020, but it's honestly been one of my favorite records of yours to date, Caesar's Palace. Talk to me about the concept behind that record and how that all came about.
It came about, I was in Alabama one day visiting home, and the town is so small, you know what I'm saying, Sawyerville. The town is so small, and the convenience store that we have in that town, I was just standing out in front of the convenience store, and I said I wanted to make something that revolved around that particular convenience store, you know what I'm saying? Because it's a staple now, you know, because it's the only thing there. So I came home, man, and I started writing with that in the back of my mind, and I just let the pen bleed, you know. So I just went to work.
You've mentioned several times already that that Alabama, and more specifically your city, is very small, very rural. So very rural. So who were some artists who inspired you coming up? If you weren't, you know, you didn't see that immediate big city life and different artists and rappers, you know, directly in your backyard already, who had already found success from music. Who were some of your influences that made you decide to get into the music business?
Well, for one, Boosie, you know what I'm saying? And pretty much the whole scene from Atlanta at the time, from the 2000s, growing up, everybody influenced me, from Lil Jon to T.I. to Killer Mike, you know what I'm saying? All those guys, just hearing they club tracks, you know what I'm saying? And even some T.I. music, something to ride to, you know what I'm saying? So all of the hip hop scene from Atlanta, you know, Jay-Z is one of my favorite rappers too. So, I mean, the sounds coming from Atlanta, the melodies that come from Louisiana, like the Baton Rouge sound, you know, that bounce music, the Hot Boys, all that, man. Lil Wayne, he's one of my favorites too. So just by being around the older cats and hearing what the DJs played in the club and stuff like that, that's where I got a lot of my sounds from, because like you say, I wasn't around it, so I had to hear it from there, and that's where I got it from, just hearing it in the clubs and stuff like that.
Speaking of in the clubs, our city right now, Atlanta, has, you know, gotten a lot of national attention because despite things being shut down across many parts of America, many parts of the world in 2020 and to date in 2021, Atlanta somehow has found a way to remain open. Some of the restaurants have been open. Of course, a lot of the clubs have remained open. And that has been beneficial in many ways to artists in the music business because their music can still be heard in the clubs. Your music is currently being spent in the clubs by one of the biggest DJs that we have in hip hop, DJ Ace. And for our audience who is not aware of Ace, Ace is currently Jeezy, Young Jeezy, however you know him. He's his DJ. They've been together for years. Ace has been a staple here in the South and helping artists develop and get their music off the ground. And I know you and Ace have been working together closely on a lot of things as of recently. Talk to me about how your relationship with DJ Ace came about.
Man, I reached out to him, and like I told you before, thank goodness he decided to work with me too. You know what I'm saying? Because it was no relationship there before. You know what I'm saying? So I reached out to him and told him what I wanted to do, my plans as far as trying to build some type of fan base in the clubs. And I know he's there down there every night. You know what I'm saying? So I told him my plans, and he agreed. And I sent him a couple tracks, and he responded well to the tracks and told me he liked the tracks and stuff like that. So we put that in place, you know what I'm saying? And I'm glad he did. He's a good guy, you know what I'm saying? He's a real good guy.
Talk to me about that feeling of having your music spent in the club. You know, I know a lot of times artists, when they're creating their particular music and they're sharing their experiences and their feelings on wax, there are certain goals in which they set for themselves. The goal may be, you know, to stream or put out the music so that they can grow a different audience. The goal may be to build a few particular tracks and a theme to put out an EP. The theme also for many is to do just that, to get their music into the place in which it can be played and spun inside of the clubs. Talk to me about that achievement and how you felt when you first found out that your records were getting a great response and being spent in the clubs here in Atlanta.
Man, it's really no words to explain it, man, because it's just something about being able to create something and people respond to it well, you know what I'm saying? And music is forever, you know, so just knowing that it does spin in the club and people gravitate towards it, I mean, man, it means a lot. It's no better feeling than knowing that your art that you created, it means something to somebody, you know what I'm saying? Even if it's one person, it means something to somebody, and that's all you get asked for. You know what I'm saying? And art is so subjective. You know, who knows who will like it at the end of the day, but just being able to put it out and just going off of a blank canvas and being able to just build from there and somebody liking it, it just means a lot, man. It's no words to really explain it. It means a lot.
I can damn sure respect that. Me personally, good brother, I have the utmost respect for you. I think you are an extremely intelligent man. I love how you strategically put your plans together. You plot and plan, you and your team. You just don't, excuse my French, you don't pussyfoot around and just, you know, sporadically put things out in that nature. What are you working on right now? We're currently in the first quarter of 2021. February isn't too far away. So that, with that being said, weather was slowly begin to warm up. We'll move into the spring months very soon. We don't know where our country will stand. We'll be getting a new president in a matter of days. So we don't know exactly, you know, is the country going to shut back down, how things are going to open up. But what are you planning and what do you have in line for the first quarter 2021 and just overall for this year 2021?
Well, I mean, speaking of the producer, I just received a track from him that I'm writing to.
Okay.
You know, so I'm working on some new music, always doing it. But as far as the things that's going on, man, I mean, I'm trying to stay as safe as possible too. But you know, it's kind of hard, and I hope that the country doesn't shut down again. But I know people want to be safe as possible, so we'll see when it comes. But as far as my plans, it's just working on new music and trying to reach new people, man. I always trying to do something different too. I mean, I think that's the main goal is always just to be making music, reaching new people, eventually being able to go out and touch some people, you know, as far as concerts and shows and things like that. So that's a, I guess, on down the line goal of mine as far as being able to do that with all this stuff going on. But yeah, just continuously working on music.
As you continue to grow, as your sound continues to grow, your fan base continues to grow. I'm gonna put you on the spot a little bit. Can you give me a top five of a few artists or producers? You can combine the two, artists and producers, in which you would love to work with this year or moving forward.
A producer I would like to work with would be Mike Will.
Okay.
I definitely like to do something with Mike
Yeah,
Will.
that would be a dope. That would, your sound and his sound would be dope together. I like that. I like that a whole lot.
Do something with Mike Will. I'm still looking for T.I. You know what I'm saying? I know it's gonna take me a minute to reach him, but I'm still looking for him. I like the sound of Mustard. I like Mustard too. You know what I'm saying? DJ Mustard. And I mean, to be honest with you, I really would like to make a record with a young lady singing. You know what I'm saying? That's something that I haven't been able to do yet. As far as making a record with a young lady singing on it. So, like SZA or Ella Mai. You know what I'm saying? So somebody like that. So, yeah, those are mine.
I can't be sitting down with you, good sir, and not talk about your Alabama Clemson Tide. Nick Saban once again got it done, as we just mentioned, with you gentlemen winning the national championship. A few of your players are expected to go to the next level. Devontae Smith, I hope he comes to the Eagles, but he might not make it that far. Mac Jones, those two and Najee Harris. Talk to me about that trio and what you think they can do on the next level.
Man, I thought they were real good. I thought they were real special. They seem to fit well too together. You know what I'm saying? They seem to fit real well together when it came to that offense, man. You know, it goes to show you how much I guess with all the COVID stuff going on, that they spent so much time together and being able to work on their craft. You know, it shows. You know what I'm saying? They were able to go out and just do whatever they wanted to, and they dominated. And it was a pleasure to see.
Damn sure, I can dig that and respect that. You're continuing to create and you're continuing to grow. So I know this will change over time. But if you had to pick a favorite record of yours right now, whether it be the sound, how it came out overall, the state of mind you were in when you created the music, what would be your favorite record that you've put out so far?
My favorite record would have to be the very first one that I did. And it's called the 90s Ride. And it's not the first record that I did, but it's the first one that I did solo by myself.
Okay.
The reason for that is because of the areas that actually respond to it. I mean, even internationally and stuff like that. So, I mean, just being able to see that it does have that reach and something that I made could reach overseas, you know what I'm saying? It just means a lot to me. That particular song, it still reaches people overseas, you know what I'm saying? So I love to see that.
Terrell Thomas, TheseUrbanTimes, sitting down with the one and only hip hop artist, Mr. Miles. Miles, let our audience know where they can check your music out, how they can check out your videos, how they can get in contact with you. Also, let if there are any producers and up and coming artists or artists, period, who see this interview and they say, "Damn, that's a brother right there that I want to work with, reach out to." Let them know how they can do that as well.
You can find me on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Mr. Miles Music on Instagram, Mr. Miles MW3 on Twitter. You can find me on any digital platform, videos all over YouTube, SoundCloud, Audio Mac, anything you got is there.
Miles, man, it's always a pleasure to sit down and speak with you, good sir. You know that. You know what I'm saying? I got a lot of love for you personally, just from the bottom of my heart. And once again, I think you're a hell of a man. Not too many cats out here like you, good brother. You know what I'm saying? So I wish you nothing but the best, and you'll damn sure continue to get my support, get our support over here. And I'm looking forward to seeing what you and Ace cook up. And I'm looking forward to see where your career goes in 2021, man. A lot of big things are in store for you, good brother.
I appreciate that, man. The same here, man. You know, I got love for you too, so it's all love.
Yes, sir, man. Let's continue to get it. Terrell Thomas, TheseUrbanTimes. Make sure you check out this brother's music. Make sure you follow what he has going on. You will not be disappointed. Great sound, great man. And we'll sit down and tap in with you again, hopefully at the beginning of the spring, and just see, you know, where the progress is going, what you're working on, and what you got cooking as we continue to go through 2021.
Let's do that.